Hello and welcome to Massive Implications, the show where every 2 weeks we do a deep dive into a topic or question that of course brings with it massive implications to be dealt with. I'm your host Jake, and with me as always is my good co-host Joquin.
Hey, that's me.
And this week we're discussing, should you take the red pill?
Why don't you explain this one?
I would love to explain this one. I got to give a little bit of context, though,
Mhm.
because for this question specifically, it's important. The Matrix is my favorite movie ever made. It is
Yes.
the all-time, in my mind, a perfect movie. No movie has ever touched it. It's just up there. It's the best one. And I've watched it more times than any other movie, I think, ever. And I didn't even need notes. I wrote notes, but I could probably just recite the movie by heart.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this topic, obviously the way the show works is that odd numbered episodes, I pick and host the show, and I pick the topic, and you host the even numbered episodes and host your topics.
Right.
So, my second ever topic is probably going to be about the Matrix. Shocker, shocker. But yeah, so I'm ready to do this. How are you feeling about this subject?
So, like I told you before we started recording, I don't really care about The Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just watched it. I'm sorry. I know it's your
That's
favorite
fine.
movie of all time.
For context, the audience, we just rewatched it again before we hit
Yeah.
record. So.
Yeah. And when the first time I watched it, I was kind of like it was my edgy teenager years, which I like really hated everything.
Sure.
So to explain myself, because I gave it a 5 during one of your podcasts, your
Yep.
best and worst pictures.
Yep.
And
Casablanca.
everybody fucking hated me for doing that.
We were about to start killing you, yeah.
So when you asked if we could do this for the next topic, and like if I would rewatch the Matrix, I said I'd only do it if I watch it with you. And I think I got a lot more enjoyment at doing it like that, but
Mhm.
still, I only gave it like a 6.
Hey,
At the
that
end.
is technically now a positive score.
That's better.
That is
True.
much better. You have entered the realm from neutral to positive ground.
Yep.
And if anything else in my life, I'm happy I could do that for the Matrix for someone.
Yep.
So I'm happy about that.
So,
Yeah.
but
But in reality, it doesn't really matter because opinions or whatever. You could give it a 0 out of 10. I'd still have this talk. It'd be a very interesting talk if you gave it a 0. But yeah. So the moral of the story here isn't about the quality of the movie The Matrix, which I contend is stellar.
mhm.
It is instead about the, of course, massive implications that come with The Matrix.
Right.
And I picked, should you take the red pill?
Right.
Now, to get started here, I'm going to read the quote from Morpheus when he presents both options.
Exactly.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Now, of course, what he means by that is that taking the blue pill, your memory of the Matrix and your knowledge, because we're acting as if we have full knowledge of what the Matrix is and everything going on. If you take the blue pill, that knowledge goes away. This hellhole world that you live in is actually just a normal life to you. You're just
Mhm.
going to wake up tomorrow and live your life and keep doing you. Keep posting Massive Implications every other week with
Alright.
Jake.
Woo!
And yeah, hunky dory. And if you take the red pill, then you are jacked out of the Matrix for the first time at the age of early 20s. And
Yeah, that's another thing to keep an important note of. You're still you. You're not going to be Neo. You're not going to be the one.
right, you are a regular guy, and the way we're phrasing the question here is that Morpheus encounters you and wants you on his crew.
Right.
And he knows you're not the one, and you know you're not the one. Everything's chill.
Mhm.
But he wants you on his crew. He's going to free your mind. Free your mind.
Free your mind.
And you're going to jack out of the Matrix, and you're presented with the choice. And yeah, you're right. They have a rule that they never free a mind once it's reached a certain age because the mind has trouble letting go.
Right.
They usually hit him with the red pill when they're young, which is kind of funny to think about.
No.
You and I are about how old Neo was when he took it, so we'd be vomiting and having existential crises all day long if we took that red
Right,
pill too.
right.
So good thing to keep in mind. Okay, so the way I kind of phrased this, or thought about this and took notes about it,
Yep.
is I have pros and cons for both pills.
Yes.
So I assume that's the logical way to go about this. That's how you weigh all decisions in life.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
do you want to start with which pill you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the pros of a red, cons of a blue?
let's start with the pros of the blue.
Pros of the blue. Okay, let's go the blue pill first. So your life, as it
Mhm.
is right now prior to meeting Morpheus, goes on.
Yep.
You get to do whatever you want, completely free of any threats or obligations outside of the Matrix. You get to do massive implications every other week, blah, 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 which is probably a con now that I've said it out loud.
Mhm.
And as Morpheus said, you wake up and believe whatever you want to believe. Okay, That is the pros of the blue.
Neo kind of knew something was going on in the background. He was already living a sort of double life.
Yeah. The implication.
Are we also living a double life, or is it literally just Morpheus coming up to us on the street and be like, "Hey, take this
straight
dog."
up. It's Morpheus presents us with the question,
Uh-huh.
but in the question, you and I have seen the Matrix. We know about it,
Right.
so
Okay.
we're aware that Matrix is real and it's a terrible thing.
Okay.
But we have the choice to take this pill, and our knowledge of all that stupid shit of how horrible the real world is, blah blah blah, disappears.
Okay, I got you.
We
I
wake
got
up
you.
and we're cool again.
I got you.
So that's kind of how I thought about it, because that makes it more interesting. Because if
Right.
you don't know what's going on, there's no real downside to taking
Right,
either pill.
right.
It's whatever. So with this full context and knowledge, knowing what you know now, having seen the Matrix film and rewatched it with your good buddy Jake, who gives it a 10 out of 10, knowing what you know now, that kind of adds a lot more craziness to the question, because are you going to be cool with knowing or not knowing how awful the real world is?
See, the thing is, though, it's definitely like the safer option, right?
The
The
blue
blue
pill?
pill is definitely like the safer option.
Okay.
Like, yeah, eventually, I mean, if you do take the red pill, you're gonna do like a bunch of fucking badass stunts, and you're gonna learn every single martial art to
Yep.
ever exist.
Sure.
But you're probably gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna die in some painful way, because like agents gonna be hunting you basically your entire life.
Well, okay. I kind of want to talk about that
Yeah,
too.
go ahead.
Because you're right. Right now, I would say the biggest problems in my life are completely trivial when compared to the problems you would face if you took the red pill.
Right.
Therefore, literally taking the blue pill would be infinitely easier of a choice to make. But you got to remember, because you're not the one, you can't beat them in any kind of fight. But if you pay attention to the movie, everybody who ran away from an agent successfully got away.
Mm-hmm.
I see this the same way as like the Sentinels, where like all you need is an EMP and you're good. Like, okay, as long as you're on top of those agents and you're running away from them and you're totally fine, you'll live. But fuck up just once and you're done for.
It's not even just fuck up just once. What if there's a double agent in the ranks? Well, I want to talk about more of that later,
Yeah.
but let's go right now. What if there's like a double agent in the ranks? Someone talking with the agents and ratting you guys out? Because
okay.
that's a very real possibility, apparently.
I actually didn't even consider that. What if there is a cipher in our crew?
Exactly. And another thing, if you take the blue pill, like, it's not even just like a matter of safety. You're probably gonna live better. Like, yeah, there's all this like cool action shit that you can do, but you're eating like the borderline gruel
Yep.
to survive.
Yeah, no, the real world is horrible. The food sucks. Your entire life sucks. There's nothing fun to do unless you're either creating a simulation like Mouse did with the woman in the red dress,
Right.
or you jack into the Matrix, which is illegal
and dangerous.
and dangerous because the agents will be like, "Oh shit, you're pirating into our thing. We're
Yeah.
gonna go find you."
Exactly.
So
So not only that, to you that's reality. Like, yeah, of course you've already seen the Matrix, but you're probably already sort of comfortable. I'm comfortable right now. Would I be comfortable thinking that like everything I know is a lie?
yeah, that's
Like,
yeah.
I'm very happy right now. I have a girlfriend. What Jake, just you. If I found out that you were a lie, right? Or I guess not, it's not that you're a lie, it's just that we're living this lie.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I too love my family and my friends, and I have a loving girlfriend and whatnot, and I love editing videos for hot quality content. The blue pill is the only choice that keeps everything in my life as is. Whereas, if I take the red pill, what am I going to hack into the Matrix every single day to maintain my relationships?
And everybody's already living like a reality that
Right. And what you're talking about, like, how would my knowledge of the real world affect my relationships with people that I already know?
exactly.
Like what you're saying, like, what if you found out I wasn't real? Well, what if I knew that you are asleep and have never woken up and you're just living your life doing whatever?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, dude, you're literally trapped and you can't escape unless you eat this one pill.
Yeah.
So this agency of terrorists, quote, quote, can come save you. So yeah, like that would affect my entire worldview and perception and probably all of my personal relationships with everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
I mean, you got
you'll go from like having like a large friend group to like 4 other people in the same base that you're hiding out in.
So we've already bled through, because the pros of the blue pill are some of the cons of the red pill, which is what I'm bringing up now. If you do take this red pill, yeah, you basically are going to see the world and everyone you know in a new way.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that in the movie, Neo's backstory is very sparsely addressed.
Right.
There's like a line or two about like, hey, I used to eat there. You know, they had good food or whatever. But that kind of line, the purpose of that line is to bring like a sense of dread as you think about it. And he's like, well, you never really did eat there, did you?
Mm-hmm.
You thought you did. But that can be carried through to you thought you had a mom. You thought you were
Yeah.
raised.
Yeah.
You dreamt that you were raised
Mhm.
because other simulations, other people that are stuck in this world with you who kind of be your surrogate mom and surrogate dad
Yep.
played the role of your mom and your dad. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's in and of itself bringing up so many questions. And it's like, oh my God, I would like to see more of that. I want to see more of like, what does it take for someone to let go of their whole life
Mhm.
on a whim? Because I'd be tempted to let go of my whole life if
Yeah.
I knew the whole world was fake.
Can I ask you a question? Because I've only seen the first Matrix film.
Yep.
I haven't seen any of the sequels, which
Sure.
you strongly advise I don't.
I think that, the second one is kind of fun, but the third one is total crap.
Okay. So my question to you is, how would pregnancy work? Does no one get pregnant?
I don't know.
Like, if there's relationships in that world, does no one get pregnant? I'm not even talking about. I asked you a question, a hypothetical. If Trinity jacked into the Matrix and she had relations with somebody, and would a baby be formed?
No. So what happens is Morpheus says when he's doing the backstory that
Uh-huh.
humans are no longer born, they're grown. The machines grow humans.
Right.
So what I'm assuming happens, the only way that it actually does tie together and make any kind of sense is if they grow babies and inject babies into the Matrix at a similar or the same rate
Okay.
as babies, like as 9 months after two people have sex in the Matrix.
Okay.
Which is their bodies don't actually have sex, as they're in two separate tubes,
Right.
probably
right.
like miles away from each other.
Their minds are thinking.
Their minds are thinking about having sex.
See,
So-
because, all right. That okay. If we go based on that,
that's the only way I can see it.
you have to see it that way, though. That's another problem with the Matrix. You have to see things a lot of ways. But we're not talking about
We're
what
not
the
talking about the
problems
quality
with
of
the
the
Matrix are.
You're
Right.
wrong.
But yeah, like things like that. I mean, you didn't actually experience childbirth, but you
Yep.
thought you did.
Right,
That
but
would probably be more painful to
but
mothers and whatnot.
it's unlike a dream where pain is felt. You know,
Right.
It's not literally a dream. It's a mind simulation with a big tube jacked into your brain. So
Right.
there's shit happening. They
Mhm.
can fuck with your pain sensors. Yeah. So your experiences, sure, you're experiencing them,
Mhm.
but they're not authentic like they were pre AI taking over the world.
right.
That's also weird too, because like in the Matrix world, and I know we're just trailing off into the implications of the Matrix world, but like in the
Right.
Matrix world, there's no like qualities or traits that you would bestow in a hereditary way to your child,
Mm-hmm.
because your child isn't your child. None of your children are your children. They're just more grown humans, and you can't have kids because you're stuck in a dream state. You have to jack out of the Matrix and then bang someone in the real terrible world, and then have a real kid that way, like Tank, who's
Yeah.
a fully blown homegrown human,
Yep.
as he bragged, which is really weird.
It's kind of
Yeah.
gross.
But yeah, so that
They got it on twice.
they did get it on twice. There's Tank and Dozer, and they're not twins. Um,
Rest in peace, Dozer.
but more relevant to the point is that that babies aren't really technically born; they're grown, so you can't really have a baby. So if you don't take the red pill and you take the blue pill, you're just gonna believe that you can have babies, and believe that your son is really your son, and maybe spiritually, in a sense, he is because you're raising him.
Yeah, you are
Sure.
raising him.
Sure,
Even if it's just mind world. Hey, Cypher said it best. Ignorance is bliss.
ignorance. Okay,
That's
so
such a good. That's
Yup.
another reason to take the blue pill. Ignorance is bliss.
that's why freaking Cypher was all about that blue pill. He's like, I would have shoved that red pill right up his ass if I knew.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you take the red pill, you're aware of reality. You're no longer in the dark about the world around you. That's a weird subject to me, because science as a concept stems from people who don't know things wanting to know things.
Yeah.
That is like the caveman simplest
Yes.
terms I can possibly describe science in. Like, we're building machines to discover the world around us and learn about the world around us.
Right.
If you take the red pill, you're probably not a scientist, because the whole point of being a scientist is just making new discoveries and being at the frontiers and
Mhm.
the boundaries, astrophysics, quantum physics, fluctuations, what dark matter, all this kind of cool stuff. You're learning about that as we speak, like in 2021.
Right. One thing though is scientists probably wouldn't pick the red pill. If you're not a scientist, you could easily become one just by having them inject information into your mind. That's a pro of the red pill.
Oh,
If you-
I'll get to that pro in a second.
You can easily just learn it's probably not even limited to martial arts. They fucking programmed how to fly a helicopter into her
She
head.
said take
One specific helicopter,
one very specific. She described like the exact make and model of the helicopter.
and it took him 5 seconds to get
5
that
fucking
disc.
seconds. He's like, "Oh, I'll get that floppy disk." Plugs it in. Done. You get to upload knowledge and skills into your brain. I'm so glad we're at this point in the conversation. You could overnight become a master at any skill, some of which include obviously kung fu. That's just standard. Day one, you get kung fu. That's law of the land.
Yep.
Then you could do things like, I don't know, like cooking. You could learn every musical instrument. You could speak every single language. You could be omnilingual. That's not even possible. There's too many languages.
But the problem with that is, that's all good and all, right? That's not really useful.
What?
That's not really useful. What are you gonna do that when you learn martial arts and go back into the Matrix? The agents are already like 10 times stronger than you. Morpheus, who was kicking the shit out of Neo, just like 30 minutes before, fucking lost to Agent Smith.
Okay, sure. I'll give you
Got
that.
his ass handed to him.
But
it's not useful information.
he got his ass handed to him because he picked a fight with an agent. He stayed. He didn't run. He could have ran.
I guess you can learn how to run really good.
Oh wait, would we be stuck in? If we take the blue pill, are we in now
That
or
was
are we in 90s?
That was something else I was gonna bring up.
I think we're in now because it's offered to us.
We're in 2021.
Right. So 2021.
There's not a lot of landlines left.
There's not a lot of landlines left. I'll give you that. Maybe because of how technology has evolved, we need to specify that it's just a smartphone now, right? Because there's just no landlines anywhere.
Also, why didn't the Matrix just get rid of hardlines? You didn't have to program hardlines then, right?
There would always be a way. Like so when developers make games, if someone finds like a bug or something they can exploit, and the developers patch it, they'll just find a new bug and exploit it.
Sure, but if you can change the Matrix, you can just change it so the hardline so there's no more hardline phones.
Sure.
It's all cell phones.
I would say that the agents don't have the power to change the entirety of the Matrix, though. I think that's like a hard reboot thing, which is a big deal in the third Matrix, where they have to reboot it.
Again, you just gotta buy the rules. I'm not trying to make this a Matrix review, but I keep finding problems with it, Jake. I just
I contend they're not problems, but that's fine. That's
you
all
contend they're not problems.
Also,
if you take the blue pill, you contend they're not problems.
All right, I'm on that red pill energy, man. I'm on that. I'm vibing with the red pill right now. I could finally give myself some acting skills with that red pill. All right.
Oh yeah, and that's so useful when you jack back into the Matrix and act.
Yeah.
And then the agents come after you.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I have to not do my job right now because I'm.
What? No, you do. Okay, so they're only coming after you if you make yourself known at all.
What do you? Yeah.
If they're looking for you, they probably wouldn't be looking for you.
They're constantly looking for you.
Yeah, but as long as you don't
They're looking for every agent. Not agent, but...
Okay, so the pirates, the quote pirates, like Morpheus's crew, when they jack in, it's when they do big stupid stunts, like, I don't know, blow up a whole building to save Morpheus. That draws the attention of the agents, you know?
But not being, like, the world's best actor wouldn't draw the attention of them.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't become, like, an A-lister. I'd keep on the down low.
B-list.
I'm not B-list. I'd stay on the down low. I wouldn't want to be an actor anyway. I'm just using that example. But like, if I were to do like cool kung fu tricks or speak every language over, I wouldn't become a celebrity because that would draw attention to myself. You got to stay under the radar if you take that red pill, though. You know?
Yeah, but again, it's not really useful to you anymore because it's all a lie.
It's okay. So, yeah, sure. I'm aware it's all a lie, but I'm aware it's all a lie. Whereas I'm not steeped in ignorance perpetually.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, even back to the red pill uploading skills thing, anything that takes years to spend honing as a craft, just have Tank put the floppy disk into his desktop and you got it in like an hour, maybe. Or 2 seconds if you're Trinity with a helicopter. So she got it immediately.
Yep.
For me, that is a massive deciding factor. I'm not saying that sells me wholeheartedly, but it is easily, far and away, the biggest point in favor of taking that red pill.
The hang-up I'm having is, yes, you know the skill, but it's not going to be of much use. What is being multilingual going to do for you?
Having any skill I want ever that takes years to hone is so fun. And think about it this way.
And you get to use it in small little fucking colony that you hate living in, or you get to use it in Risk World that constantly wants you dead.
It only wants you dead if it knows you're there. Just stay low.
Why doesn't the Matrix know you're there?
So they know you're there if like
If someone sees you.
not if anybody ever sees you, because they're walking around like the normal world and people are looking at
And
them all
these
day
guys
long.
in like leather jackets, just like,
Yeah, that
really-
sticks out. That sticks out.
That sticks out. I guess you could just not
Just
wear a
not
leather
wear leather
jacket.
jackets.
However, have you seen them not wear a leather jacket in that world?
They could just choose not to. It's not like it's stuck welded onto their bodies.
To be fair, it seems like it is.
No, because you know what? When I'll go back into it, when they loaded up the training program the first time and said this is the construct, this
Yep.
is your residual self-image. Neo wasn't wearing a leather jacket,
But that was the training program. That wasn't the actual Matrix.
but that was his residual self-image. So he doesn't imagine himself with a
So
trench
he-
coat. He has to go get a trench coat.
oh,
I'm sure they all shop at the same Target.
it's so painful to think
It's
about.
not painful.
Oh, you had to buy so many rules.
No.
Oh
they're
my
not
god.
rules.
The one pro to the red pill. Okay, I'm so heavily leaning to blue.
Okay.
But the one pro I can imagine is if you do become a double agent. If you do become the cipher
Yep.
and get a better plan, you could bargain with the agents and be like, yeah, I want this, this, and that. If the agents would even do that
That's
for
another
you.
thing too, because Cypher died before they held up their end of the bargain.
Would they have held up their end of the bargain?
I contend they won't.
I'm half and half. There's really no reason why they wouldn't, right?
But there's
Because like
why-
if you can reset someone's mind by just jacking into it, there's no reason why you can't,
the
right?
the agents have such a contempt for humanity, especially Smith, that I feel like they're like, oh sweet, one less dude to worry about. Unplug that bitch, you know?
He's a battery. He can be used as a battery though. He's still useful to
I guess
them.
so. I don't know. I feel like if
scratch my
they plug
back,
it
you
in,
scratch your back.
if they plug him in, they'll just be like a random setting and it'll just pop up somewhere
Yeah.
in some country. Aside from that, like even though you're not the one, you can still break the rules of the Matrix. Like Morpheus and Trinity can jump from building to building, hundreds of feet in the air, and land with no fall damage.
Uh-huh.
Break
Oh,
some rules, baby. Get in there.
But the agents won't notice that.
They'd have to see you.
Oh,
And again,
someone would have to see you do that.
oh, it's okay. So the agents, if they're actively looking for you, they'll use
Which
the
is
eyes.
all the time.
Not all the time, because they don't know about you specifically.
Oh my god.
Just still, I'm saying,
If they see you once.
if the agents know of you, then
Mhm.
yeah, they'll be looking for you actively. But you could create like training programs, do whatever you want to, jack in, do missions, jack out. You know, I keep using the word jack; it feels dirty. But you could go into the Matrix, do whatever you want, go back out before they get you. I feel like they're so easy to escape from because nobody gets caught and dies from an agent except Neo, who comes back to life.
Yeah.
So I think that does occasionally happen. But in general, I mean, at least based on this movie, it's very few and far between.
Mhm.
You know, so I feel like it's relatively easy to escape the agents. And another point too, I'm assuming you're going to bring up the point that in real life the Sentinels are after you. As you stated promptly, they did not send many Sentinels to the place where they knew
No.
the one is. They
No.
sent like 4.
They sent like 4. They probably have thousands of these things.
Yep. So easily, just oh shit, Sentinels are coming. Let's leave the Matrix real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And all we have to do is just flip that little EMP, and boom, they're all down, and then fly away.
Uh-huh.
You know. So
Oh,
it's
let's not talk about the fact that they didn't build EMP shielding.
okay. Well, then they'll, like I'm saying, the pirates will find a new way around it. Look, okay. So what you're talking about, where they fight in the real world
Yep.
against the AI, that's
Mhm.
more developed in 2, mostly 3.
Yep.
It's like the big third act is the real world fight.
Mhm.
Since they're in the sequels, it's no longer important. But also another pro of the red pill, because I'm hard in that red pill camp. The Oracle would tell you something important about your life. Now, Morpheus, he heard that he will find the one.
Yeah.
Trinity heard that she will fall in love with the one. And Neo heard that he's not the one, which is a lie, in order to get him to save Morpheus and realize that he is the one by coming back to life like Jesus.
Mhm.
Religious symbolism and
Right.
yeah. So she could flat out lie to you in order to have you discover a big truth about yourself. Also, free cookies. The thing is, the
No.
Oracle,
Oh.
I'm bringing it up. The Oracle made those cookies, so she objectively knows how to make a cookie so that you specifically will like it. That's baller. You don't get that with the blue pill.
I mean, you.
Yeah, checkmate.
I mean, you could have just said like with the red pill, you could have You could be a master chef.
Sure.
You don't have to. It doesn't like you're not.
I'm not saying that's a big thing, but it's a thing. It's there.
It's a thing.
I want to. What I'm
it's
trying
a-
to say is, I want to hear what the Oracle has to say about my future.
Uh-huh.
That sounds cool. What am
Mhm.
I? What amazing adventures am I gonna go on? Possibly none. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna make some adventures. I'm gonna have some fun. But yeah, to me, the red pill is so appealing because, yeah, there are the downsides of like I don't know how to live my current life anymore.
Mhm.
But there are ways around that. A, with pirating into the Matrix, and B, I've now kind of cashed in my current life for one that I will literally never experience with that blue pill.
True.
So
I mean, listen, you do have pros. I don't think the pros outweigh the cons, though.
oh yeah,
You're constantly going to be hunted. We're going to disagree on this, but you are constantly going to be hunted down
okay,
by not just one thing, but two things.
yep,
If they send more than 4,
yep. The same entity in two different worlds.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, yeah.
it's just too dangerous, and I don't want to. That would make me feel so uncomfortable. That's a thing. I'm comfortable as I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Such a weird thing to think about.
True. Okay. Well, I have some pros and cons about the blue that I haven't really gone over
Yeah,
yet.
go ahead.
Let's lean into your point a little bit first before I get it to why you're so wrong. Yeah, you're right. Like you're saying, there's no existential threats. You're not pursued by agents or sentinels, and also, similar to the cookie argument, you get to eat awesome food forever. I mean, I love Taco Bell so much, dude.
Yeah.
Like that blue pill is infinite Taco Bell in my eyes. Red pill, sparse fake Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Or Taco Bell that I know is not Taco Bell. Like,
Right.
That's to me that's getting me. And also expand that to like, professional chefs and dishes and all that stuff. Like lobster, like no more lobster except that you know that it's not actual lobster, it's the machine lobster. Like
That's
that
what-
would get
Are
to
they
you.
only using humans?
I don't know.
Are they only using humans? Is there a lobster?
Oh no. Yeah.
Do they harvest lobsters?
They do not harvest lobster. It's just humans. I promise it's just humans. There's no lobster Matrix.
Hey, Matrix 4 is coming out. We
don't know yet.
We'll see.
It could be.
We'll see.
You got to watch 2 and 3 before 4. I'm gonna subject you to those.
Oh fucking hell!
If you want to go 4, you can't go out of order, man.
Oh,
you gotta
my
get there.
God.
And I will sympathize with you about how bad those movies are.
See, I'm probably gonna be forced to see. I'm probably gonna be forced to see 4 because I know Emma's really gonna want to see it because she fucking loves Keanu Reeves
Does
and
she?
The Matrix.
Well, he is back, baby. He's all the
Yay.
way back to get into why you're so wrong, bro. Cons. You're a battery. Your entire life, beginnings to end, will be only to give the AI of the real world energy.
Okay.
Now, when you take this pill, you won't know about any of that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it will still be just as true. And whatever you think is real, whatever your personal beliefs are, even if you're an atheist, you're still somehow wrong because you're a battery
Now-
just for machines.
Now, to that point, are we not just a battery right now?
We're not.
Are we not just a battery right now? I'm going to argue that right now we are a battery.
How?
And by that I mean like we have a limited lifespan just like batteries do, and we have a purpose to fulfill in this world. Like we have things to do. We have to go to work and do stuff like that.
So all I'm hearing from you right now is that Simpsons clip where it's, I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. You're like, fuck yeah, we're batteries, bro. Let's do it.
Listen, it's just the more we're already batteries in the real world. We have to go and do menial labor. Yeah, I mean, unless you're fucking rich, but you still exist,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
You have a limited lifespan.
You have to breathe and shit every day.
I think it's a fair trade-off.
I don't think it's a fair
Personally,
trade-off.
I think it's a fair trade-off.
Maybe it's just the anarchist in me, but I'm still like, fuck those dirty machines, man.
Yeah, those. I mean,
Okay, well, let me bring up another point. Every single skill you want in life, you actually have to spend years and years harnessing, and there
Mhm.
might be a chance that you just inherently suck at it and always will. Like, for example, I'm gonna shit on myself a little bit. I play guitar. I've
Uh-huh.
taken years of guitar lessons. Even though I know what I'm doing and could conceivably be one of those coffee shop guys who play in the background, I'm aware that I do not have what it takes to be a musician, and I'm okay with that. I'm simply not good enough.
mhm.
Red pill, floppy disk, guitar, Van Halen immediately. I'm just saying. That's infinitely better.
If
So-
you buy that the agents won't come after you, I
I-
guess you would know more than me. But from what I saw, I think the agents would find you.
Well, okay, so we've already established that the Sentinels are very easy to stop in real life. So as long as you sparsely go into the Matrix, and when you're not in the Matrix,
Oh, so sparsely go into the Matrix, the one place where you can actually have fun.
one of the two, because you can make constructs. Mouse has already made a ton, I'm sure. Even though they're like probably weird porn versions, but part of you would probably want some of that. So you can make your own creations, do whatever you want. You can fly.
Would I want that?
Probably not that specifically.
No, I mean like there's some like if we are talking about the porn shit, I wouldn't really want that. That's just sad. That's a sad life. That's a sad existence.
Almost as sad as being a battery, huh, Joe Quinn?
No, because we're already batteries.
I think battery is sadder than indulging your fantasies.
Fucking fake women.
Oh, you're being only the machine's source of power.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
at
know.
least I have my mind.
At least I have my entire body back to do what I want with. At least like when I go in, if I were to make a construct with a sexy woman and do whatever I want like Mouse does in the Matrix, if I did that, at least I would be choosing to do that, and I would be exercising my free will and having my fun that I wanted to have, as opposed to being stuck in the blue pill world, which is just our worlds where we're real bodies are all just asleep and we're all never going to wake up ever, and we're all just going to die. And this is true. I don't know if you caught this line, but when a human dies in the real world, when they're the tube people that are plugged into the Matrix, they are ground down to liquid and fed to the next
everybody else.
Yeah, to the next new world.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that's your fate.
That's fine.
I don't want that fate.
I mean,
I'm not that fate. That's not me.
I guess you're but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that fate unless you take the red pill.
That's what I'm saying.
but-
I would actively know that I am not that fate.
But to your point where you can learn any skill, that you're not special, right? Everybody else, every other pirate can then proceed to learn that skill instantly. You're not special.
Well, what's cool about the skill isn't just the fact that only you can do it, because Van Halen isn't the only guitarist that's really talented. He's probably not even the most talented. I just picked him. But he's easily like one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And I could turn myself into one of the greatest anythings of all time, you know? And we could all be on that level. Anybody who wanted to get those programs who has the red pill, of course, could get those abilities instantly, and we could all be gods at whatever we wanted to do.
Yeah.
To me, that's infinitely more appealing than going into by choice negligence, feeding my entire being at the end of my life to baby full-grown humans. I don't know. That to me, that fate doesn't sit right with me, especially when you look at the fact that it's not really a choice, except we're phrasing it so that it is because it's a blue pill or a red pill situation. Right. But like, if we weren't portrayed with the blue pill, red pill situation, it wouldn't be a choice, you know? And that's not okay to me. I want to choose where I end up, if I could speak philosophically about that.
I still think I would just be more miserable. Personally, I would be more miserable. If you're more comfortable knowing the truth, then I sound like an asshole when I say stuff like this.
No, it's fine. I'm shitting on your decision, so you know. It's all in fun here. So
yeah, I just it's a toughie. It's a toughie. I'm still hard blue, but I can see what you mean. Like,
and I see what you mean too.
Of course, I technically have free will though.
In blue,
I have free will because there's nothing preventing like. I mean, it's not like I'm standing in the agent's way, right? I'm not standing in the Matrix's way just by existing, and I can do that stuff. I think it's more earned to like learn something yourself than to
absolutely, and you're 100% right about that.
Instantly learn a skill that you're probably not even gonna get to use that much.
It depends on what you're doing, because like, okay, so like my kind of dream in life was to be a director at one point, and you know, and I live on the opposite coast of America for that one. But that kind of thing to me, it's like, well, what do you have to do to get there? You have to watch a lot of movies, which is the fun part. Then you have to start crafting your own. You have to start getting together a crew, a squad, a team, getting all this kind of stuff, getting the budget, all this kind of constraints and stuff like that.
Yep.
Whereas, like, if I could just have knowledge of how to direct a movie immediately plugged into me, and also I could manipulate and bend and break the rules of the Matrix, I can come back into the Matrix under a pseudonym so the agents try not to find me, and then make whatever I want to make. And I could bypass the process where I spend so much of my life in existential dread waiting to maybe get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We talked about this actually last episode with your friend Jason. If he was immortal, could just wait in Hollywood and an opportunity would go to his time because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and he would exceed once in a lifetime.
If my friend Jason took the red pill, he can learn to become a director.
Go back into the Matrix.
Go back into the Matrix and direct the movie.
There you go. No matter what our question is, it's going to be Jason directing a movie.
We just got to... gotta bring Jason to this.
We gotta have him on one day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the general things to keep in mind with that. And I also want to point out something else too. We didn't bring it up, but we are being asked this question as two dudes who have it pretty well off in life when compared to the rest of the world.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the reasons that you're leaning so hard into blue. Like, if you lived in like a third world country, you'd shove that red pill right up your ass. You know what I mean? You're like, anything else, please.
Yeah.
You know? So you and I, you're right. We do have it kind of made. My biggest problems in life are nowhere near the problems of A, someone in a third world country, or B, someone literally living outside of the Matrix being hunted. I'm kind of taking like the daring cowboy crazy devil route of like, I want to have some fucking fun. I want to blow some stuff up. I want to do some kung fu on some hoes. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to go nuts. Because, dude, at the end of the day, The Matrix is a fun fucking movie. You got to do a lot of cool shit when you can start breaking the rules.
I will concede that The Matrix is fun.
Mm-hmm.
If this question was phrased as take the red pill and become Neo, become the one,
Yeah.
then I would probably lean more towards the red side.
I was going to say, there's really no reason you wouldn't take the
There's
red
no
pill.
reason, because
If
you
you're
can
the
stop
one-
the agents,
'Cause
right?
To spoil some of 2 and 3, the one is prophesized to
Mhm.
bring the machines down.
Okay.
So literally the Oracle knows that, yeah, Neo is the one, it's the anagram of the word one, to save the human race from subjugation. So if you know that's your fate and you're offered the chance to save humanity, then you're an asshole if you don't take the
Yeah,
red pill.
you're an asshole.
You're just choosing not to save everyone.
And if you're Neo, who can stop agents, you can have a lot of fun.
you could have a fuck lot of fun.
You can do all those things that you wanted to do with the
Mhm.
red pill, which I don't believe you could do.
Normal people who are not the one, if they're jacked out of the Matrix, they can jump really far, they can make themselves stronger, they can know kung fu. But Neo is the only one who can actually fly. And there's a scene in the beginning of Matrix 2 where he's just doing Superman. He's flying around, he's making clouds whir in his background. It's good shit. And he lands and he does like the big whoosh and the you know the wall wiggle, when the helicopter hit it and the reality bent and then the glass broke.
Yep.
When he lands, the ground waves up and down, which is kind of sick.
That's kind of cool.
So you can do that shit if you're the one.
That's
But
kind of cool. It's
yeah,
kinda
if you're the one, the question is null and void. There's no debate to be had.
Yeah, there is no debate. You're an asshole if you
Asshole
take the
if you
blue
don't.
pill.
100%. So yeah, as it stands right now, I'm actually surprised. This is the first episode, I believe, where we actually disagree about
Violently
the question.
disagree
We
with each
vehemently
other.
disagree. So I'm pretty glad about that. We got a diverse opinion set
Yeah.
pretty early on.
Yeah.
So hell yeah. Anything else to add to the red pill, blue pill conversation?
No, I think I'm good. I think
You're
I'm
like,
good.
fuck this stupid fucking
Fuck
question.
this
It's
fucking
Matrix, goddammit.
Goddamn asshole making me watch The Matrix.
I know. I really cursed you with that.
Fucking
That 6 out of 10 canon you gave it.
Could be watching
yeah.
Iron Man 3 right now.
You could be watching Iron Man 3. Remember how you were like, oh, another reason to watch Iron Man 3? I'm like, yeah, another reason to watch The Matrix.
We'll do a topic based on my favorite movie, Ratatouille. What if rats can control you? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, no. It is your choice next.
That is something we'll
yeah,
that'll be
we'll
on
get
the
there
back
when we get
burner.
there.
We'll be on-
Unlike Dealer's Choice, we don't reveal it this episode.
Right.
We sit on it for a bit. But yeah. So, to wrap things up, I know you're firmly in the blue pill camp.
Mhm.
I'm leaning red pill. I want to say it's like 75-25.
There's stuff that you could a little if the blue enticed you just a little bit more, you'd probably be more blue pill.
Well, I'm
right?
not on the 50-50 line, but I'm obviously leaning
like
firmly
60-40, 70-30.
75-25,
Oh,
three
okay.
quarters. I'm in the red pill camp.
Okay.
But that's not to say that I'm like discounting blue, because you make some fantastic points. Blue pill is the safe, happy option where you get to live your life and you don't have to worry about real shit. You have to worry about, how does my hair look today? You have to worry about little bullshit things. So I'm oversimplifying. There are real problems in our life.
There
but
are
like
problems, but-
still, they don't compare to sentinels hunting you down and lasering your face.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm leaning red pill because, well, a lot of the reason I've already admitted. I'm pretty biased. This is my favorite movie. This is my freaking favorite thing. It's so fun. It's fun to watch, and I want to be that. And this is, I know I'll never get to live the Matrix, so I have an option to live the Matrix. I'm going to live the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I have talked about the moral aspect where it's like, I don't want to be fed to baby humans that are grown as liquid. That's just not me. So yes, I lean red pill strongly. I'm going to say firmly red pill.
Okay.
And you are a blue pill man, I hear.
I pretty much am.
Okay.
Blue pill camp.
Blue pill camp.
And that's what I'm sticking with.
Sticking with it. All right. So why don't you, as a listener to our show, comment below which you prefer. And as per usual on our show, we will go ahead and read out all of the comments from last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe last episode did get a comment.
I have it right here if
You
you want me to
do.
read it out.
Joe Quinn, why don't you hit us?
It is addressed to you, but fuck it. Hi, Jake. It's me. Oh, this is the Lingard, by the way.
It is the Lingard, yeah.
Hi, Jake. It's me. First off,
First off.
congrats on your new channel. But I wish to help your channel a little as a fan. I believe you guys can make it a little bit shorter so that more people would watch, and some images related to it. I think it can help to interest more people.
Well, hey, Lingard, thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate you commenting because every single one does support the video and the channel to some extent, and I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to have to agree and disagree with some of what you're saying.
There's some of what I agree with, too.
Yeah.
About the shorter, I think this is pretty short of an episode,
This is
I'd
probably
imagine.
the shortest one we've done so far.
Yeah.
We shoot for an hour. If it goes over or under, we really don't care. We'd rather just have our thoughts be their natural length.
Right.
But in any case, he's talking about visuals. He's right. YouTube is a visual medium.
Right.
That's one of the reasons that I was pretty adamant about the audio visualizer on screen.
Yep.
That's a first for us. Notice hot quality content hasn't done that yet. We're going to start doing that for best and worst pictures, though.
Yeah.
Because Mud's taking over, and he said he's going to do it. So, hell yeah. I don't want to edit those stupid things. It takes so fucking long. But yeah, so with this show, I would absolutely love to do that. What we initially planned was to do an on-camera podcast, like Joe Rogan, basically. But I'd have like 3 cameras set up, 1 wide and 2 close-ups would be the setup, and I would switch real-time live as we did it. While I'm confident in my ability to do that, I do not believe that we have the technical ability to do that without spending at least thousands.
Right.
Hundreds, maybe low thousands. And B, we'd probably need a third dude. We'd need a guy, like a Jamie for Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Jamie, pull that up with a gorilla tearing that guy's arms off. We need that guy
Yeah.
to monitor the boards and run everything and make sure everything does it correctly.
We're not
And
there yet.
We're not there. And again, I brought one channel to 1,000 subscribers and monetization. It's soon, anyway.
Soon. Subscribe to hot quality content.
Hot quality content, baby. Let's get it. But if I can do that again with Massive, I would absolutely love to take some of whatever revenue we get and funnel that into a guy.
Yeah.
It's a guy to help us out. That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
I'd probably just hire Ian. So at that point, So that sounds super fun. Lingard, I don't agree with it being shorter because, it is a podcast. It's long form.
Yeah.
But
definitely, it's pick up and play.
It's pick up and play.
I always see podcasts as pick up and play. Put it on in the car and you listen to it from there. If you don't finish it in one sitting, that's fine, but you have something to go back to.
You have something to go back to. I like listening to podcasts when I play video games because I like to dedicate at least like an hour or two to a good session if I can get it in one day, That'd be nice. But so while I disagree with some parts, I got to say most of what you're saying I am kind of on your side with. And again, can't say it enough. Thank you so much. And I want you to do that as many times as you feel comfortable with commenting and supporting the channel. I really appreciate that a lot.
Definitely shoot us some more comments. And if you have any more suggestions, we're definitely willing to listen to them.
Willing to hear them, willing to listen. And did you take the blue pill or the red pill, Lingard? I want to hear that. So,
yeah.
Anybody else who's listening, we don't know who you are yet. You haven't commented. Comment below. We'll hear you. We'll read you on episode 4, which is going to be, of course, Joe Quinn's pick.
Yes,
so
it
next
is.
week, he will host the show. He will edit this stupid thing instead of me. And catch you guys next... I was going to say next week. It's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
Catch you guys in 2 weeks for
Oh, yeah,
episode
that's
4.
another thing. The first 2 episodes were week to week, but that was a special,
That was a
alright?
special.
That was a special.
We're starting out. We got to open big.
Right.
But it's going to be bi-weekly from now on.
From now on.
See you guys in episode 4 with Joe Quinn's next topic.